crowdfunding is an interesting one, and it was really en vogue in 2013, 2014. I
think it's still there, actually. I think there's Indiegogo now. Still has a lot of films that they support, right?
It's Indiegogo, and there was one other one. What was it called? Kickstarter, yeah.
But I think Indiegogo has probably more films, if I remember correctly.
But the way crowdfunding effectively works is you are going to a bunch of people and asking them to pitch into your project. And it's not an investment. Something called equity crowdfunding came out later, where it was actually hard investment. And somebody who equity crowdfunded your film could expect a return. However, crowdfunding as a general concept has been used basically to say, hey guys, I'm trying to make this project. Can you help me out? And very often there's all kinds of perks awarded, right? So for example, you'll say...
Well, we're looking at Indiegogo right now. Here, you have someone who did funding called Burren Girl Documentary Film on it. They raised 27,000 Canadian dollars. And it's an interesting concept because you didn't used to have that before.
But I think the reason why it has worked in some cases, in other cases, it really has not. What it's based on, in my view, is the fact that everyone wants to make movies. Movies are really cool. At least if you're me, movies are really cool, right? But not everyone can just show up in Hollywood and say, hey guys, can I come make a movie? It's a somewhat gated industry. It's very hard to get in. So crowdfunding, what it very often does is it says, hey guys, I want you to get involved in my movie. And by the way, if you give me this much money, if you crowdfund us this much, you get a thank you credit. If you crowdfund this much, you get a thank you credit and an opportunity to come to the premiere and meet everyone.
They call that a perk over here.
It's a perk. And if you give me this much, you get to be an executive producer, right? So it really is that it can be viewed to some as an opportunity to get into the industry. I know there are some other actual established people in the industry who have tried crowdfunding and it has not gone so well because they were a little more well-heeled. And people just said, why don't you use your own money? But the more interesting thing that happened is crowdfunding then merged into, or what emerged was equity crowdfunding, which is effectively a different model, which says rather than just being purely donative, you're investing money, right?
Yeah. They came about because originally when you do your crowdfunding campaign, what you're working on is those perks. Usually those perks couldn't be a share of the film because it was a security. And you'd be in violation of different securities acts if you offer someone a share of profits or revenues based on the fact that they gave you money. Okay, so initially what people, and they're still doing, is so you've got a choice. You can either tell someone, hey, give me some money, I'll give you a DVD or I'll give you a download of the film or I'll mention your name on screen. Or I'll give you a T-shirt or something like that, okay? Versus I'll give you 10%, 1% of the share of the profits of this film. So what you now have the ability in the United States and even in Canada is to actually do call it mini type of prospectus, offering memorandum, and literally raise money by offering people that share. It's quite complex though.